Come take a seat on the casting couch.
I've gone for a slightly higher camera.
Have you? Is that some feedback people thought
Well,
about?
I was just looking back at the videos and it's just like thighs. Whereas if it's slightly higher, it's more face.
Yeah, you know, adapt to
You have got to get a bit of a thirst trap in there for the views though.
The views on the YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, we are on YouTube if you want to see our pretty faces. But how are you doing? How have you been, should I say?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yeah, feeling good. I have to prioritise a little bit more on the recovery mobility side. So my body is actually feeling quite good for once, which is nice.
Good. So you're not lifting at the moment?
I am.
You are?
I am. I'm just training properly. I'm practicing what I preach, which I don't normally do. So
yeah, do as I say.
Yeah.
Not as I do.
Yeah.
So what are you doing at the moment? What's your training split?
Training 3 times a week in the gym, where I'm hitting 3 total body sessions, but
Very
keeping
good.
the volume relatively low. And then I'm running about 4 times a week.
Because you've got your half marathon coming up, haven't you?
Next Sunday, Manchester Half Marathon. I had my last big day yesterday, where I did some I did decent squats, and then 15 kilometres at half marathon pace.
Very nice.
And it went very well. I'm feeling like I'm going to hit my target.
So are you going for a time, are you?
Yeah. Going for an hour and 45. But I reckon, judging by yesterday's run, after squats and after not very great sleep, I felt good, and I pushed it in the last 3 kilometres.
Yeah.
To just try and simulate the end of the finish of it, and I felt really quite within my means. So
Good.
I feel like, although I've got a 1 hour 45, I think I'll be really chuffed if I get an hour 42 maybe. But yeah, we'll see.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, and with a bit of carb loading and proper recovery.
I was going to say, had you carb loaded prior to that 15k?
No, the one yesterday was very much I have a bit of a weird work week where I do my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are really, really intense. I'm pretty much just working the whole time.
Okay.
Where my sleep is my sleep's always good quality, but it's not enough hours to normal, or how I should. So my Thursdays I'm always a little bit hungover from the start of the week.
Just a bit more stressed from life.
Yeah. And then Thursday, Friday, my work is very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Thursday, but I wanted it to be Thursday because then I've got over a week to taper off a little bit. So races on Sunday. My last big day was on the Thursday the week before.
Yeah.
So from now it's just going to be a couple of speed sessions and then a couple of recovery sessions.
Yeah.
I'm doing
when you say speed sessions, is that more sprinting stuff, or is that just
no,
quicker aerobic stuff?
Yeah, quicker 3 kilometers, but intervals of 5k pace. So not sprints, but just faster pace.
So when's your last run before it?
It'll be the Friday, and it'll be 3 kilometers at half marathon pace.
And it's
so
on the Sunday?
Race on Sunday, so I'll do that on the Friday. Saturday is just rest, a bit of stretching, foam rolling stuff, but otherwise just eating and recovering, sleeping.
So did you fuel yourself during that 15k? Have you been using...
Yeah, I basically simulated what I'm going to be doing next week. So on the Wednesday, I did a speed session, which was just a pyramid thing. So you go a minute at 5 kilometre, 2 minutes at 10 kilometre pace, and then 4 minutes at half marathon pace, and then back down. And then Thursday I simulated the race, so I did 15 kilometres at half marathon pace, pushing it in the last 3 kilometres, and then my nutrition, as my fueling during the race, the 15 kilometres will be the same as.
So what have you been taking?
So before won't be what I had, but during the race, during the 15 kilometers, I had a Torque gel. You know the Torque ones?
No.
I recommend them because Lauren introduced them to me, and they're
Torque is in TALK.
No, Torque is in
Torque, right? Yeah.
TORQ or something. Anyway, I had one of them at about 30 minutes in.
Okay.
And then at about an hour in, I had one of these blocks or two of these blocks.
What are the blocks?
They're
called blocks,
I think they're called block, BLOC, but they're just like carbohydrate blocks, like sweet things.
Do you know what's in them?
Lauren does, but she just recommended to me. I'm just doing as I'm told, really.
Good boy.
Yeah, it went well. My energy felt good, especially considering lack of sleep, and I did a leg session earlier in the day. So, and I felt like I had more in the tank. And I know it was 15 kilometers, but I still felt good, you know. So it's looking like I'm in good shape for it.
I think for you, because you run so quickly, the research behind, you know, what you should be having during fuel is different for you what it would be for me. Does that make sense? So,
I think it does, because I've seen a video on this not too long ago. Because you've got because there's two different types of carbohydrate.
Well, there's three, but yeah, go on. You're talking about for the absorption?
Yeah, I think so.
So you've got glucose and fructose.
Yeah, but I think it's more refined than that. What is it? Oh, it's going to bug me now.
So in terms of like your absorption, the simple sugars that your body can absorb through your gut are glucose and fructose.
Yeah.
Now you absorb more glucose than you do fructose, and it's on like a 2-to-1 ratio.
This is it. Yeah.
So you absorb glucose twice the amount that you absorb fructose.
Yeah.
Now, for anything over 90 minutes of exercise, and this is partly what I was getting at, for anything over 90 minutes of exercise, you should be taking on some fuel that contains glucose and fructose. So for anyone that doesn't know, fructose is the fruit. It is the sugar found in fruit. So that, you know, things like fruit juice, fruit itself, you know, what they extract out of that and put into gels and sweets and stuff like that. But for every hour that you exercise, if you're exercising for longer than 90 minutes, you need to be taking in 90 grams of carbohydrates, of which 60 grams is glucose and 30 grams is fructose. So you're getting that 2-to-1 ratio, because that's like what it's... I don't know if it's necessarily like the best absorption, but it's like safe for your guts. So like you're not going to shit yourself whilst you're running around. But there's also theory like, can we only absorb 90 grams of sugar per hour? So that's why they say 90 grams. Try and get 90 grams in for every hour, and that should actually be spaced every 20 minutes.
So it's funny because me and Lauren were talking about this the other day, because you know that magic number 90 as being like the maximum. There's this one triathlete who's like very, very good, and she was saying like how most people, like if they have any more than 90 per hour, they just shit themselves, or like, you know, whatever. But there's this one guy who, I don't think she coaches, but it's part of the thing that she's with, and he has like something about like 140.
Nice.
And it's just because he's practiced it so much, like practiced it to like get to that amount of carbohydrate intake per hour. And
they're probably, you know, with anything in terms of research, there's a theory and then it gets proven.
Yeah.
So and a bit like muscle response to training, your body, your gut would adapt to being able to absorb certain nutrients without shitting yourself.
Yeah.
And what's most optimal for recovering yourself during the race, your body would adapt. So if he's been constantly doing that and he can get up to 100 and something, there's probably not even the research done yet to show that, you know, with training you can absorb more than this. But most of the research at the moment just points to 90 grams, which is why if you find like a lot of the gels, not necessarily, the gels, but also like the shakes, the CIS, Science and Sport. Like the blocks that they do, which I'm probably similar to that beta block thing, but also the powder that they do that you mix into water gives you 90 grams of carbohydrate in a quickly digestible form. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? So you take that every half an hour?
That's what I was advised anyway. Because I've not trained you know, or practiced that much in terms of what like supplements to take or anything like that. So I don't want to turn up on the day and shit myself because I've had too much. So I just wanted to practice that, make sure that I can deal with that, and then just do it, because I'm not looking to.
And what I was sort of getting to before, but never really got onto the point, which sounds a bit like me, but is when I said for someone running, because you run quickly, you don't need as much fueling because, well, you've said it. You're aiming for that half marathon to be at about 1:45. Now we've already said that if you're doing any exercise over 1.5 hours, 90 minutes, then you're going to need to take on that glucose and fructose. So because you're going to be getting into that threshold where you need it, but you're pretty much finished. Even if you're having some glucose and you're having some, you know, anything over 1 hour for you, you should be having glucose, and then anything over 90 minutes, you should be having some form of fructose as well. But you're going to be pretty much done by the time you actually need that kind of stuff. So
the gels that we've got, those Torque ones, are the ratio 2:1, so it does have that thing. So
you've got that, and you probably don't need as much. Like, if you were running a marathon, you'd probably want to take it every 20 minutes.
That's insane, to be fair.
You take it every 20 minutes and all the way through until you finish, and that just makes sure you're not depleting your carbohydrates or your glycogen levels at such a rate where you're going to crash. Heard about like running wall? What is it? The wall,
hitting the wall in it. Yeah,
that's when your carbohydrate levels are literally rock bottom. That your body is forced to turn to fat as its only fuel source, and that's when people go whoa. And you need to push on.
And it's just like tragic.
But you won't get that.
No.
Because you've trained, you're quick.
I've got a game plan going into it. So I've got I'm going to try and describe something that I saw, and I want you to try and pick up what I'm trying to put down, right? So there's two like tanks of fuel, right?
Yeah.
There's one that goes really slowly, and then hits rock bottom. I presume that's that rock bottom thing. And then there's another one where it's like you're refueling. So this one's going down slowly, and then like that's your like 2:1 energy, and then it like slows the rate of this one going down. Then it's like you refuel. Do you remember what those two like energy types are? Because the two words that I know, I'll know it if I hear it. Do you know the two energy things that I'm talking about? Like this is your main one, and then this one's your.
So carbohydrates are the primary fuel source for exercise, because when you're exercising, you've not got the perfect amount of oxygen coming in, and you build up those like oxygen debts. Even when you're doing aerobic exercise, there becomes a point where you're burning too much carbohydrate. So think of like your fat stores are massive. I'm not saying you're fat, you know what I mean? Most people, there's so much energy in fat, even if you're skinny and only have a little bit of fat. There's so much energy, so much energy there. But to exercise efficiently, you need carbohydrates present. Now, you're not just using carbohydrates or fat when you're running for like a marathon distance or half marathon distance. You would use purely carbohydrates if you're sprinting, but you're not. You're sort of in that aerobic exercise phase. And you think your energy levels are being fueled by the fat mostly, but the carbohydrate levels, your glycogen levels, are depleting quicker. Now you are topping this back up to enable them both to come down together. It's a bit like a hybrid car, you know, where you're using your energy that you've charged from your solar panels. Once that gets too low, you're forced to use the fuel. But if you somehow have a mechanism built within it where it recharges those batteries, you're still able to use the electric. That was quite a good analogy. I'm quite aware of that one.
I've just remembered the two words though.
Go.
Endogenous and exogenous.
So
exogenous and endogenous.
Exogenous is something that's from outside the body. That's the right. Got That's what I was looking at. And endogenous would be the fuel that you already have within your body.
Got you. Okay, that's it. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, cool. Well done. You picked up what I
sounds about right. No, but so that's next week.
Yeah, Sunday next week. So my game plan from now is, today's a bit of a recovery day because yesterday was big. Tomorrow will be a bit of a speed session, but quite light, not too big distance. Because I'm like tapering off now.
You're doing parkrun?
No, I'm not. I've got a client in the morning, but unfortunately, because there's Chester Marathon on Sunday, so I can't move around Chester very well on Sunday. So, yeah, speed session Sunday tomorrow on Saturday. Sunday is just a recovery 5k at half marathon pace, so really chill, really chill. I can't run or train or anything at the start of next week, and then Thursday will be speed session. Friday will be 3 kilometers at half marathon pace, so like recovery session, like just get into that pace and get used to that pace. And then Saturday will be complete rest, fuel, like loads of carbs, and then Sunday's race day.
Nice.
And I'm feeling quite excited for it. And game plan for food going into the race.
Let Lauren cook everything because she's an amazing cook.
Yeah. And because we're both doing the same race, so you know.
Oh, is she doing it as well?
Yeah, she's doing it as well. We're starting at the same time as well, so.
So you can wave.
Yeah.
See you later.
So yeah, I'm thinking like bagel in the morning, no butter because that's fat.
You can have fat. Go on.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Bagel in the morning.
You don't need just pure carbs. You can have fat.
Nah, I just can't.
It's going to be horrible, but yeah, crack on.
Bagel with, to be fair, peanut butter, so it's going to have butter in it.
Peanut butter's massively high in fat, so you're not having... go on, continue.
Yeah, but I'm not doubling up with butter and peanut butter.
Go.
Maybe some jam.
Yeah. Bit more sugar.
I might take some, because I'm going to wake up quite early to get the fuel in. And then I might have like, you know, those small, are they Scottish style pancakes?
Oh,
you know, the little
Scottish pancakes,
Yeah, that one.
Nice.
Gonna have like bring a couple of them for the journey, and then a bit of fruit beforehand.
Yeah.
And then
go into
get in, because it's quite an early race start. So
get yourself a Lucozade as well. Just sip on that. Allergic? What to?
You know that. I'm very sensitive to aspartame.
Oh.
I lose my vision. Fun story, the first time I found that out was when I was a kid. I was playing rugby and I had like 2 bottles of Lucozade before a game. I caught the ball in the game, like first touch of the ball of the game, caught the ball, started running, fucking vision went, I went completely blind, stopped in the middle of the pitch, got tackled, and then I was just sat down like processing what's going on, like I just couldn't see. Started crying because I was like, I can't see, like what the fuck. So I got taken off and then went straight to hospital, still unable to see for like a couple of hours. I was crying in the car, like, am I blind now or what? And then I had to do, like, when I went to the hospital, they took my blood and all that stuff. I had to write down everything that I'd eaten or consumed in the last like 3 days or something like that. And then found out that I was allergic to aspartame.
Nice.
And I've not had it since. And the amount of times that I've been bought, like, what's it called? To be fair, like, it's if it's in like Coca-Cola, I can have it in Coca-Cola because it's only a tiny like trace amount.
Just checking you're not going to go blind on me.
So the amount of times I've been bought Jaeger bombs and stuff like that because it's Red Bull. I can't have Red Bull, that's too much. But like in energy drinks, like I just have to make sure that it's not either not in it or it's trace amounts. But like in Coca-Cola, it's
don't drink a Lucozade.
Yeah, don't drink a Lucozade. Yeah,
you could get one of those.
I can have.
You know those, like I said before, the CIS electrolyte things. Some of them.
Yeah.
That way you're just hydrating.
Yeah. I've got some hydration tablets as well.
Good.
So I'll have like one of them the day before.
Yeah.
On the day.
You don't actually need as much hydration as people think, because what you need for someone your size, what are you 90 kegs?
90, yeah.
Yeah, you probably need about 500 ml before the race. Like it's not litres and shit.
Yeah.
It's literally because the opposite can happen if you have too much water but don't have the electrolytes, which is why I recommended the Lucozade. You raise your water levels in your blood because you absorb it, and then you can go into something called hyponatremia, which is low sodium in your blood because you've got lots of, and then you go for a run, which you sweat out more sodium.
Yeah.
And then you become very low sodium, and then you finish the race and you drink more water, and then you can have serious consequences for that. Anyway, on a brighter note, it sounds like you've prepped. It sounds like you're going to eat well. Lauren will look after your food.
Yeah.
You've got intra-run fuel. You're ready to go.
I'm excited. And it's another thing that's going to be like pushing me on is because I'm not playing rugby this year, I've been missing that competitive edge. So on the race day, when I'm in that competitive environment, I know that I'm going to be like, I'm going to thrive. Do you know what I mean?
You know, a lot of people don't do those races to like...
Yeah, I'm going to be like, fuck you. Like, overtaking all these like, people.
Some 90-year-old lady just shot her in the ditch.
Shit.
No, it'll be good. Yeah, good, especially if you haven't done one. So
yeah, that's it. And apparently it's like, because Manchester's, other than like the London ones, they are the biggest ones in the country, so it should be like a really buzzing environment, so I'm excited for that.
Well, enjoy.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up next week to see how you get on.
Yeah, man.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.